But remember, you know what you're talking, you're your absolute best listener right now.
Hi. I think I know all of you. So I have actually a couple new faces since I've been volunteering, but if you guys remember me, I'm Kaylee's mom, Miss Cindy. And I'm also a student, just like you guys. I go to Indiana State University. I know, it's like crazy far away. Yes? She does. Is she in the baccalaureate nursing program? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm in my community health project. So I'm going to do some education on bike safety for you guys today. Well, actually not just bike safety, it's road safety, because I know not everybody rides their bike. Did you have a question? So far away, that's a good question. So this is an online course that I can take my classes and kind of work around Kaylee's schedule, and then also I do my clinicals locally. Right now I'm doing them at Virginia Mason, which is downtown. So that's why I do it online, as opposed to doing an actual physical school here. So what you see on the board here is going to be my way of evaluating the effectiveness of my teaching today. So this is a pre-test. What I'm going to have you guys do is just write a number 1 in the corner on the front page, because it's a two-sided paper. You're going to answer the questions. There's no grade at the end, so don't worry about it. And then we're going to, at the very end, you're going to flip it over. You don't have to write anything on it. You can write number 2 if you want. And then you're going to take the same questions, and you're going to change anything that you may have learned throughout the presentation. Okay? So I will read these to you just so that you understand what I'm asking you. So number 1, it says, how old do you have to be to walk across the street by yourself? And then I give you the options of 5, 7, or 2 years old. And then the second question is, you walk your bike when crossing intersections, true or false? So you'll just circle one of those. And then the third is, when riding a bike, there is no sidewalk. You should, A, ride in the same direction as the cars, B, ride in opposite direction as the cars, or C, ride in the grass. And then the fourth, you're just going to circle a picture that shows the proper way to wear a helmet. And then the fifth one, you're actually going to, you can't see it, there's numbers under these hand signals, and I want you to match on the left the position of the hand that says left turn, stop, or right turn. Okay? Okay, so we have the tests in the back. And those will be handed out to you. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to fill that out, and then we'll go over.
Put a 1 in the top corner, okay? Put a 1 in the top corner. You're only doing the first side. Appreciate you listening so far. Keep it up, guys. Kaylee, you got it?
And just don't forget to write the number 1 on the top corner so that I know that this is the one that you took before I started talking.
So opposite your name, write a 1. Give me just a few minutes to do this. So the top one again says, how old do you have to be to cross the street by yourself? 5, 7, or 10? You walk your bike to cross the intersection. Is that true or is that false? You should walk your bike across the intersection. This is when riding a bike and there are no sidewalks, should you ride in the same direction as cars, ride in the opposite direction as the cars, ride in the grass? It says, what picture shows the right way to wear a helmet? So you circle the head. Then they want to know 1, 2, or 3. Which one of those shows the left? Which shows stop? Which shows right? once you're finished here, just please put your pencil down and put your face and focus forward.
We're good? Think everybody's done?
Yep.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll give Ada just,
Love the way Greg just had it sit in front of him. Thanks, Greg. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Abba.
you're doing a great job listening. I know it's super exciting with summer coming up and everyone has a lot of energy today. And you have no desks, so everything's crazy different. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. So this is gonna be again on road safety, not just bike safety because not everybody has a bike, but who here has a bike that they like to ride? Okay, well pretty much everyone, right? Or a scooter, something that makes you go. Okay, so we're gonna start with, who knows what it means to be a pedestrian, or what the word pedestrian means? Yes.
There's someone who is local to this part of the city.
Kind of. Or?
Someone that isn't on like a bike or anything or on a car.
Right. Somebody who's walking. That's right. Anybody who's walking. So that's what a pedestrian is. So a lot of times you'll see signs where it'll say pedestrian crossing, or you'll see a pedestrian crossing sign, which I have on the next slide. But so one of the things we're going to remember when we're being a pedestrian is that we have to be conscientious of our surroundings. We can't just rely on our sight. We also have to rely on our ears. So if you see these people walking with their headphones or they're on their phones, they're distracted walkers, right? So sometimes accidents can happen. So we need to make sure that it's not the safest to be walking with your headphones in your ears, but you have to have it low enough you can hear cars coming behind you or to the side of you. So one of the things that we are going to talk about when we are walking, and you'll see here, this is the pedestrian crossing sign. So we have to slow down. But we are going to talk about how old you have to be to cross the street by yourself. Actually, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, you have to be 10 years old. I know, right? I hear a lot of people, you got that right answer, right? So otherwise, you should have an adult with you. Yes? Sure. When we get to the end of the sidewalk, and not always when we're at a crosswalk, because around here in Seattle, there's not crosswalks everywhere. We come to the end of the sidewalk, and then there's another sidewalk and we need to cross the street. What are we going to do? We're going to, go ahead.
I'm looking to wait for the cars to stop and see you.
Right, correct. You're going to stop, you're going to use your eyes, you're going to look left, then right, and then left again. But we're also going to use our ears. We're going to listen for cars, because sometimes with parked cars in Seattle, you can't actually see the cars coming down the roads or the alleyways. So we're going to stop. Yes, did you have a question?
What if a hybrid?
And that's a good point, because sometimes I can't even hear them because they're so quiet. So we really need to stop and we need to look left, then right, then left again. And then while you're crossing the street, you also need to continue to look left and right and be aware of your surroundings. Okay, and that also goes for bikers, because sometimes you can't see a bike coming, but they'll start zooming through the crosswalk and they can hit you just like a bike or like a car could. So we need to make sure that we are paying attention to our surroundings. When there is no sidewalk, you're going to actually walk against the flow of traffic. You're going to walk on the left side of the road. I know that's a little different than you've heard from when you bike. You always ride with the flow of traffic. When you're walking, you actually go against it, so that way you can see the cars coming and they can see you as they approach. Okay? And now in Seattle, sometimes you'll be walking on the sidewalk, there's a sidewalk everywhere here, but all of a sudden it says sidewalk closed. So what do? You're going to have to walk on the opposite side of the traffic so that the cars coming can see you. And then one of the other things let's talk about, when you're at nighttime, you should always have an adult with you. But when you're walking at night with your adult, what kind of colored clothes should you wear? Go ahead.
Right.
Light clothes, correct. And something that might be reflective or the jackets with the neon stripes that have yellow and the reflective tape, or just something very light. Because if you wear dark clothes at nighttime, cars can't see you. And that's when accidents can happen. Okay? The next question, or next topic that we're going to talk about is riding your bike.
Dog
Look at that funny dog riding a bike. So one of the most important things about riding your bike is making sure that you wear a helmet and you wear it correctly. Yeah. That puppy's not wearing it right, is he? No. So two things to remember when wearing your helmet to make sure it's fit properly. Two things. It's 2 finger widths above your eyebrows, between your eyebrows and the top of the helmet. So that way it's not too far back, because if it is, it's not protecting the top of your head. And if it's too far forward, it's not protecting the bottom of your neck, which is, an important part. It's your brain stem back here. You need to protect it, okay? And then also, the V on your ears. The strap should make a V around your ears. And what that does is make sure that it's not too wobbly, and it won't move it when you shake your head, okay? And then you'll see the picture that was on the test here. So that's too far forward. That's too far back. This one was the right one. Yeah. Did you have a question? Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about with biking, you should always know the rules of the road. You should always be with an adult, but if you're not, and your adult is the one that says you can ride by yourself, you need to make sure that you are aware of the rules of the road. So when you're walking or riding your bike, the first thing you're going to do is check your equipment. You're going to make sure that your tires are inflated. You're going to make sure that your brakes work. Because you don't want to be going down one of these hills in Seattle and then like, oh my gosh, I can't stop my bike. That would be very bad because you go into the crosswalk. So check your equipment before you start riding. If you're in a group, you're going to go in a straight line, especially if you're on the street. Okay? Then you're going to go with the flow of traffic, which is opposite of what I told you guys when you're walking. And then the people always have the right of the way. So if you're on a sidewalk and you're riding your bike and there's a pedestrian, you need to call to them left or right on the direction that you're going to be going onto the side of them. You're going to obey all the same traffic signal and signs as the cars. So you're going to obey the stop signs. When you come up to a light, you're going to wait for the crosswalk light. A lot of times in Seattle, you'll find people that just go through, and it can be very dangerous because the cars don't know where you're going to go. You just go through the crosswalk signs. You're going to use the hand signals that we had on your test, and that's important because, again, the cars need to know you don't have a blinker on a bike, so they don't know if you're going to turn left or right unless you use those hand signals. And then that way they can slow down and yield for you. And then one of the other things that is really important, especially in Seattle, is that we have all these alleyways that kind of blend in with the sidewalk. Those are just like a street that you're going to cross. So you need to make sure that you stop at the alleyways, look left, look right, and then look left again. Otherwise, these cars that come through the alley, they don't know that you're crossing on the sidewalk there, and they could potentially hit you, and you can have a brain injury. We don't want that. But that's also why the helmet is there to protect your brain. So we're going to go over the hand signals. It's not a great picture. But so this is left, this is right, and then this is stop. Who knows what a right angle is? Yeah? What is the right angle?
It's two lines connected.
Yeah? Yeah?
Perpendicular, you're looking for that word.
There you go. So this here, that looks like a right angle, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's why you can remember right. You're making a right angle with your arm. And then obviously the next one would be left, and then stop. That's one way to remember that. If you're riding your bike, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't remember which one was right. Just remember right angle. And then the opposite of right would just be down. Okay? Now I'll take a quick extra break, and then we're gonna watch a little video. That's silly kitty.
Oh my god.
Anybody have any questions? No? Okay, we're gonna watch just a short video on some of the stuff that I just talked about. Okay?
It looks like it has a mustache. Yeah. Like that.
Bring it back, please, kids. Just watch.
Mr. Frazier, would you please call the main office? Mr. Frazier, please call the main office.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Hey, Gabby, what's up? What happened?
Well, I was riding along the road and I skidded and fell off my bike.
Weren't you wearing your helmet?
No, helmets look dorky.
That bandage looks real good.
Well, whatever. It didn't mess up my hair at least.
Kelly, you really could have gotten hurt.
Well, thanks for being concerned.
I'm not kidding. You really could have hurt yourself.
Well, it's not like I had brain damage or something. It's only a little scrape.
Since you brought it up, let's talk about brains. Check this out. When you ride one of these,
You should wear one of these.
here's why. Pretend your head is a bowl of jello. Your brain is the jello, and your skull is the bowl that holds the jello. Now, you may not realize it, but if you crash or fall off your bike and hit your head, your brain actually moves around in your skull, like this. Hit your head too hard, the bowl breaks, and the jello oozes out of the cracks of the bowl. And you've got a brain injury.
What's that like? I've never had one, and I don't want to find out. But I've been told like it's real confusing. Right now, you would understand me if I were to say, "Hey, looks like a great day for a bike ride." With a brain injury, that same sentence would sound like, "Great, hey, bike it, ride, looks like for a day." Besides that, with a brain injury, sometimes you can't do things like tie your shoes, go to the bathroom by yourself, or even smell such awesome things as pepperoni pizza. Brain injuries are not cool. So be smart. Wear a helmet. They're proven to be almost 90% effective in preventing a brain injury that may last the rest of your life. And may also help your face from getting all messed up in a crash.
So how do you find the right helmet to protect yourself? It's easy. Check it out. Pretty much any store that sells bikes has helmets. They come in all kinds of cool designs and colors. So you're sure to find one you like. They also come in different sizes. Make sure you get one that fits you today, not one you'll grow into. And pay attention. This is important. Look for a sticker inside the helmet that says CPSC. This means the helmet meets the Consumer Product Safety Commission standards to help protect you from those nasty head injuries we talked about earlier. If you don't see this sticker, don't buy the helmet.
Want some more proof that riding with the helmet is smart? Take Exhibit A, for example. This helmet was worn by a 9-year-old girl in Tennessee. She was riding home from a friend's house when she lost control in some loose gravel. She took quite a spill. But thanks to this, no head injury.
Exhibit B. This one looks a little rough. A 10-year-old boy from New Jersey was cruising down the road when a neighbor pulled out of his driveway and didn't see him coming. Today he's just fine. But imagine what could have happened to his head if he hadn't been wearing his helmet. Scary.
And finally, Exhibit C. How many of you have ever gone down a big hill on your bike? Pretty fun stuff, huh? Until you hit your front tire on a little rock. That's what happened to a 7-year-old boy in Colorado. He lost control, hit a tree. Thanks to this, which got pretty messed up in the process, he walked away with only a broken wrist.
Broken in the front and got scrapes all over.
A crash this hard would have done a number to his head, messing him up for the rest of his life.
So, how do you tell if your helmet fits the way it's supposed to? Here's the deal about helmets. They're lightweight, they're well ventilated, and they come in more designs and colors than you ever dreamed possible. But the most important thing is this. They protect your head and your brain in case you crash or fall. The first step in making sure the helmet fits is knowing the front from the back. Now you're looking at the front, and here's the back. What you do is fit the helmet snugly on your head like this. Don't tip it too far back, or don't tip it too far forward. It should be level on your head like this. Low on your forehead to withstand any blows. Low enough so that only 2 fingers fit between your helmet and your eyebrows. The helmet should be nice and snug on your head so that it doesn't wiggle around. If the helmet isn't snug, just add some of these handy Velcro pads that come with the helmet. Remember, snug is good, wiggly is bad. The 2 side straps should meet in a V under each ear, like this, and the chin strap should be adjusted so that if you open your mouth, the helmet gets pulled down a bit. There, he's all set for a ride. Helmet level, 2 fingers above the eyebrow, and snug enough so that it won't wiggle around. It takes a few minutes to make sure your helmet's on right, but it's easy, and it's worth it. See you later. Ding, ding, ding.
Now don't forget, a good helmet fit is as important as wearing one. And if you have little brothers or sisters, there are special helmets for them that cover more of their head to give them lots of protection. And your parents, they should be wearing a helmet also. And don't forget the rules of the road.
Ride single file in the same direction as traffic. Obey traffic signs and signals. Signal your turns and look behind you before you turn. And always stay alert. Remember guys, wearing your bike helmet is the single most important thing you can do for your safety. Let's say this is you. If you crash or fall off your bike, ouch. I don't care how tough you think you are. You could really get messed up. Now here's you in a helmet. You're A-okay and looking smart. So just think of your helmet as part of your gear. You don't see a soccer player without shin guards.
You don't see a basketball player without shoes.
So don't ride your bike without your helmet. It's part of the gear. Ride safe, ride smart.
It's time to start today. Right now you are under.
Okay, great. So that was pretty funny. That was a really old video, but it was pretty funny, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna flip over our papers. You don't have to number it too, but if you want to, go ahead.
So go to the back side. Go to the back side, so it's totally blank. Here, it's the same questions, but this time we're going to see, what do you know?
Okay, so again, how old do you have to be to walk across the street by yourself? 10. Okay. And then you walk your bike when crossing intersections, true or false? True. Okay, when riding a bike and there is no sidewalk, you should ride in the same direction as cars, ride in the opposite direction as cars, or ride in the ground. And then we're going to circle the picture that shows the little boy wearing the helmet the right way. And then the last trickier question, we're gonna identify the right, left, and stop hand signals. We're putting a 1, 2, or 3 in one of the spaces over here. And then when you're done with that, you just put your pencils down so I can see that you're all complete. Very cool. And then you'll see in your cubbies, at the end of the day, because I don't want you to get distracted, there's a little goodie bag in each cubby that has a few things to keep yourself safe. There's a road of rules printout and just some few things for you guys as a thank you for being such great listeners. Okay, does anybody have any questions? No? Do you have, okay.
Also, it's a little cat going like that.
What's that? Oh, why's that girl going like that?
No, what? No.
This
What
is a cat.
Oh, it was just a funny picture. He was asking, he had a question. Kitty cats ride bikes. Answer is no.
Can't write.
Yes?
Don't. Cats don't talk.
That is true. Kitty cats don't
I
talk.
think it's just a fun.
Yeah?
I was going to get like a motorcycle riding bike.
They could, probably in the circus.
No, but like people that put them in the sidecar.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They should also wear a helmet. I've seen little doggies with helmets. So.
They got those brains in there too.
Yeah.
If anybody have questions
Yeah.
about what you learned, so not just about the cat, stuff like that, more questions about something you learned, because you were taught a lot today.
Yes? What about you want to know what the right angle is again? Yeah? Oh, good. I'm glad that you learned that today. That's right. You have to wear a helmet. It's very important. Okay, last question. Okay.
If you're riding a unicycle or an electronic unicycle, is that the same thing as a bike?
Yeah, so anytime you're like a scooter, the Razor scooters, you should still be wearing a helmet. Bike, a unicycle, any type of, even those little Segway wheels, anything that's propelling you, you should be wearing a helmet. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the recorder and I can answer any more questions.
What do you guys say?
Thank
You guys did a nice job listening, and I think Kaylee's mom did a nice job teaching too. I think so.